Hey, welcome to the Hinkleshop. It's another talk. So what's been going on in the shop recently? Well, last week I was not feeling the greatest, and I actually did try to do one of these talks. Some of you may have seen it, a portion of it. In that talk, I had that table right here, and I reached over and I yanked the table and it went into pieces, and everybody thought that was funny, including the person that's running the camera. Sand everything down. I'm going to round the corners on, whoops, it's not glued. Whoops, it's not glued. Behind there now today. So here is my aggravating camera mount. As you can see how it follows me? Well, I don't have an aggravating camera mount behind the camera today. I've got my beautiful wife back there behind the camera running it. So that's a big help. Put this here, we don't need this on here no more. Oops. Underneath this tarp, some of you might be able to tell, but there is a Carveco 3 underneath that tarp that I really haven't used much since I acquired the Onefinity. It's just, no offense to Carveco, but that version to this machine is night and day. This machine is so much better that it's just incredible. So I keep it covered up. It's a makeshift workbench over there, storage bench for now. So I do have a list of things today that I want to go over and I want to remember to go over with you. One of the big things is Carveco's doing a Black Friday special starting the 28th through December 8th. They've got some huge discounts. They're going to throw in some credits and some other things on both Maker and Maker Plus. So if ever you were interested in, signing up for Carveco and trying out their software, definitely worth doing it now. And I'm going to put an affiliate link in the description below, which will get you an additional 5% off. So if you're interested in that, I would check it out. So in the shop, what I'm doing today, on top of everything else, is I'm going to relocate this laser because I realized I have a vacuum port there waiting, just doing nothing. So I attached this hose to my vacuum system, and I can actually move that laser over here permanently so that it'll have smoke extraction pretty much all the time. Let me move it. Let me just refresh my memory here because I'm not young anymore and I'm trying to remember everything I wanted to tell y'all. Glasses. Yeah, that's the big thing, moving the laser. But for the table is done. The little table, the dowel table, whatever we're calling that table, it's finished. I'm hoping to have that video out tomorrow as long as I can get the editing done for it. There was a controversy surrounding that table, and I hope that the authorities don't get called and Lisa gets arrested or my daughter-in-law gets arrested. But the controversy was I built the table. I didn't inform anybody that I wanted the table. Lisa gives the table to Tessa, and thankfully Tessa thinks it's a piece of junk, so she doesn't want it. That's not true. But I said, I'm going to take that to the office, and Lisa said, no, you're not, no, you're not. I said, well, that's what the plan was. This morning I found out where the table's going to be. It's in our living room covered with a light.
Maybe.
And that's where it's going to stay. So the table is complete. I'm hoping to have the video done. I've got a video in the works for what I'm calling, it'll be 5 projects that will make your stay in a hotel room a little more, it'll give you a little less anxiety. Basically, it's going to be five 5 projects that you can use in the bathroom of a hotel, so you don't have to put your toothbrush down on the wet sink and some other things. I'm hoping to have that video done by next week. I might not, but I might. If I have it done by next week, you'll have them all. You'll see them all. This morning, I was working on, this thing is a target, by the way. I don't know if I've ever explained that. It's a focusing target. So when I'm doing videoing, if I'm going to stand here, I put this here, and when I use the fancy camera, I focus to the Atlas, and then I put this out of the way, and then I can talk and be in focus. But she's recording with the cell phone. That's just as easy as if I use the other camera. Anyway, where was I? Lost my train of thought. 5 projects. So yeah, we're hoping to have those 5 projects done. I'm thinking I'm going to do them all in one particular wood, sapelli. If anybody has any ideas they think I should do them in something else, give me a shout, let me know. Let me check my notes here and make sure I'm not forgetting stuff. Any suggestions on how I keep this stupid vise tight? You see these 2 nuts on here that are loose? They're always loose. And I've tried tightening them with a wrench and they still continue to loosen up. But it is what it is. I thought I'd tell you a little story this week, because I started to tell you, didn't start to tell you, I told you last time that I wish I had caught the bandsaw blade breaking on camera, and I said there was a side story to that. One of my first experiences cutting my fingers or getting cut while woodworking was with a bandsaw. And it was while working with my grandfather many years ago. I used to be into horses pretty good, and my friend Richard and I, Kennedy and I, would go to a local fair called the Fonda Fair in Fonda, New York. And I asked my grandfather to help me build a tack box. If you don't know what a tack box is, it's a box about yay high. You know, it can be pretty much any dimension, but mine was roughly a little over 24 by 24. And in the bottom of it, you slide in your saddle and you put your bridle and stuff in, and you have a drawer on the top. They can be designed any different way. But anyway, I regress, or I digress. Grandpa helped me make that tack box, and one of the first things I did was used his Craftsman bandsaw, like the one I have, and it was a staple in his shop. Well, I had a piece of wood, and I was cutting something on with a piece of wood, cutting a shape, and when I brought my hands around like this, my pinky just kissed that blade right on the end of it. I learned very quickly not to play around with a bandsaw or any other saw. It only went in about 30 seconds of an inch, but it was enough to teach a young teenager not to play around with saws and stuff. So that's a story from my youth of my grandfather. We ended up finishing the thing. We made it out of plywood. It was very, very nice. Had an arched shelf inside of it for the saddle. I'm trying to remember now. I don't have it anymore, but it had an arched shelf in it for the saddle. Had a door on the top and a door on the bottom. Inside the top, we had all kinds of stuff in there. But yeah, I was big into horses for a while, not so much now. Horses they're a great animal if you like to buy lots of hay. All right, we got that over there. I need to relocate these guys. There's the cardboard I was looking for earlier. I told Lisa I wished I had another piece of cardboard I could put over that window, so there it is. Check my notes here and make sure I'm not missing anything. The projects. Oh, friend of mine this Friday, Marty Watson. I actually showed a picture of him on Facebook with me riding down the road with him. And he asked me if I could make an American flag with a certain logo in it. And he said, how much would it be? Well, I haven't figured out how much it would be, but I said, yeah, let me play around with that this morning. Well, man, if I couldn't remember how to inlay an object into a flag to save my life, it took me forever this morning, but I figured it out. So the question is, would there be any interest in me doing a refresher video on how to make an American flag, with a logo or something else into the flag? So if there is, shoot me some messages down in the comments and I'll do another video on that. I did one a long time ago and it could probably stand to be refreshed. Yeah. Tack box, I got that in. I had another funny story for you. Working with my father on the roof on a building I built one time. He was on the roof and we needed to cut the piece of metal we were dealing with, or the wood we were dealing with, a certain footage and a half. So it was like 12.5 feet long, and Dad and I proceeded to get in an argument about 12.5 feet is 12 foot 5 inches. For anybody that knows how to read a tape measure, except for me back then, 12 foot 5 inches is not 12.5 feet. 12 foot 6 inches is 12.5 feet. Just remember that. If you're working with your tape measure and somebody says give you something and a half feet, it's not that feet 0.5, it's that feet 0.6. So, Lisa, come over here, please. Lisa, come over here. Lisa doesn't know I'm gonna do this, but come over here, Lisa. So I want her to be a part of this. So it's been another year of this YouTube channel. She stuck by me through the whole thing. I love her to death. But I just wanted her to stand here when I say to everybody, we've had our trials and tribulations this year. We've gone through some things that we didn't want to go through. We didn't want anybody to go through, but I just wanted to take a few minutes from her and me to say to say to all of you from both of us, happy Thanksgiving. We hope you have a great one. As always, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.